So Derek Carr, who pretty much is still free agent out there. Once he hits the market on February 5th, March 15th, he'll probably look to sign somewhere. He got released from the Las Vegas Raiders on February 14th after being benched the final two games for Jarrett Stidham. Right, so there's something doing wrong there if you get benched by Jarrett Stidham. Wherever his name is, but the Saints and the Jets, he's already visited them. I think those are two good landing spots. The question would be, what other teams are interested. So Derek Carr pretty much stated that it came out that he's going to visit a handful of teams at the combine. What better way to kind of touch them all at once? The teams that are interested in you at the combine, with about 12 teams looking for a quarterback. There's a good way if this team doesn't feel they can get somebody in the draft to place all their bets on Derek Carr. He said his brother David Carr mentioned that he doesn't want to make a hasty decision. He wants him to make this to be a process where he thinks about it. He wants to do his due diligence by visiting most teams. Here's the problem with Derek Carr. Derek Carr, there's glimpses where Derek Carr looks like he's the best quarterback in the game. And there's glimpses where Derek Carr looks like he's the worst quarterback in the game. It's like, what is he doing? With much hype and expectation for him, I think that it's came down to him just not performing the way we want him or we expected him to perform. Does that mean he can't be great or win a Super Bowl? No. I think he has the ability to take his team deep in the playoffs, but it's much to say when you have Devontae Adams, you have Darren Waller who came back, you have Josh Jacobs, you have Hunter Renfrow, and you go out there and you play pretty much marginal. You came back late in games but lost a lot of games, and it's not necessarily just the clutch factor of Derek Carr that's the problem. It's more or less his consistency. Derek Carr is either playing great or he's playing awful. There's no in between. And the thing about it is you can play great and still not win games. You can play awful and still not win games, but you can play great and not win games. The consistency of more or less Derek Carr just being good most of the time and being bad not as much, right? Derek Carr has to find ways to be good. He has to find ways to hey, how can you consistently be good most of the time? And when you have players like Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs, you don't have to go out there and be the guy who wins the games. All you have to do is go out there, and it's not more or less just him throwing check down. It's more or less him taking the game as it is, taking it to the next hump, and over the next hump. And if I have to compare him to anybody, I will compare him to like a Carson Palmer. He's a guy that can do the job, but he's a guy that we really don't see doing the job. You don't see him going deep in the playoffs, even though he has all the tangibles that you would want as a quarterback. He has the escapability when he needs to. He has decision making, but he's just not consistent with it. And he has to have that consistency where he can find value. Do I think he can go to the Jets and turn that franchise upside down? No, I don't think he can do that. Do I think he can do that with the Saints? I think the Saints it's a better market, it's a better team that he has around him. Depending on who's coming back and who they're going to release, etc. But Derek Carr has to, and whoever the quarterback coach has to find a way to be good most of the time or almost all the time. The best quarterbacks in the game, they're good at their worst. They're good all the time. And that's the level of play he has to play at where teams really are bought into him. He's 31 years old. How many years does he have left? Realistically, before teams start saying that he's damaged goods or he's old, it's about 3 years. And 3 years will be his audition for his next contract if he gets one in this league.